You must become your authentic self. And when you don't, you really suffer. And you will move through all sorts of fear and doubt and anxiety, and you will never feel confident. You might even get sick. You might even go broke. You might even have so many horrible things happening to you because you are not willing to become your authentic self. And then if you don't become your authentic self, then the world would never see or experience what you came to offer. And because everyone was born to offer something. So, but the only way we get there is if you become your authentic self. And that can be challenging. It was really challenging for me. And I'm 73, so I do understand. But becoming my authentic self was even more challenging because of who I turned out to be. But see, this could be the same for you. There could be something within you that you're not trusting, you're not believing, and it seems too unbelievable for you to believe your authentic self. And that's what happened for me. But 2 weeks from today, I will become more of my authentic self, which is why I'm recording this video today, because I will be filming an episode of Beyond Belief with George Nuri on the 7th of June, because I need to give more of the story of my authentic self. And I want you to understand as well, because you will feel so much better. We might look at our lives now in the world and think, wow, this is really horrible. What's going on? But I knew what was happening. And if I had become more of my authentic self, maybe things could be a little bit different. We might have that regret as we move through our lives, but that's never helpful. It's always about what can we do now? And that's what it is. I held a channeling session yesterday for the full moon because whenever there are energies happening, I receive much more information from Wilhelm. Now, I will tell you, I would have never told you this before. I would have never said it because, see, in 1988, when I started doing this, it was the craziest thing ever. How am I receiving information? How am I healing myself? How am I creating businesses? How am I doing all of that? But then for the last 4 years, since 2020, I was suffering because, see, I couldn't accept my authentic self. I was discovering, wait a minute, I was given something that could help more people become their authentic selves and live this great life, what they were supposed to do. And if more people did that, then our world would be quite different. And then we wouldn't see what we're seeing in our world now. I was told all of that, but accepting that and becoming my authentic self was really, really challenging. I couldn't tell you how I healed all these ridiculous, crazy things that have gone on in my life. And then in the session yesterday, you might have heard if you listened to the session, but I will put a link here so you can listen to it because when I am receiving Wilhelm, I can answer any question. And that doesn't even make sense to me. And you'll hear it in the recording, but I can because I'm in a different level of consciousness. We can all move to a higher level of consciousness, and we're being asked to do that now, which is why the world looks the way that it does. Everyone won't do that. I've been talking about my work for many, many years, and people said, no, that's not possible, and they won't do it. And so then, even in a session, Wilhelm said, well, they won't do it unless it's $5,000. So that's probably what's going to happen, because after I go to Colorado and film this, I will tell the complete story. But I'm going to give you something now because I want you to understand nothing is accidental. We are in the universe in alignment. And Wilhelm said yesterday they've given us messages on dates, specific dates, because see, we don't accept things in our consciousness all at once. It takes a while. I receive things precognitively before they ever show up, but still, it was challenging for me to accept that and to accept my authentic self. And so when I got up this morning, I decided, well, let me look and see what they gave me on this date. And I'm always led to something that is going to make sense. And today it was going back to 2020. So I will share that message with you because I really want you to understand what I have done and what you can do because it's always within you. And this was the message. Whatever you believe is correct. We must tell you before we begin that many of you will receive this message and your sense of self belief will be enhanced. Last night, Roger was in conversation with a friend who referred to the comment we mentioned the other day of a person asking Roger if he was a psychic, to which he willingly replied yes. We said the last sentence as Roger would not have answered in the affirmative even a few years ago. The reason he would not have done so, and the reason you have difficulty acknowledging who you are and what you were born to do, is that you don't believe it. We will help you understand this as we gave you the message more than a year ago. In the future, we will explain more of our communications with Roger. But for today, we want you and Roger to attempt to understand the message that you may not have understood until now. Additionally, apply the meaning you find to your world today. We have a final note before the message. Roger had a pop-up appear on his iPad that said, "It's time for you to fulfill your purpose." You each are asked to do that as well now. You're welcome. February 12th, 2019. How to bake a cake. We wanted to use a crazy sounding title so you and your readers would be curious enough to discover its content. Once you decipher this and make practical application to your life, everything will change. When you think of baking a cake, you know you will need certain ingredients to manifest the final result. You know that each ingredient is necessary or important, so you do not choose one above the other or eliminate some because you need them all. As you diligently go about combining the ingredients, you witness every step of the way the formation of your cake, which only required some time to bake in the oven for it to rise. And now you have a beautiful cake. That is your life. I could not have explained that message to you when I first received it. I could not have explained to you the information that came through in the challenge session yesterday because it's always coming through with all of us. It's in our consciousness. There's always more. We are never done with fulfilling it. We just have to decide if we're going to do it. And so when I was told that the world would be changing and I was given work that could help people live this great life and that would lead to this really much better world, that didn't make sense until I felt the healing occur in my body. See, because what happens when you move through your ascension process, when you do it willingly, when you don't resist who you can become or becoming your authentic self, you experience all kinds of generational healing. You experience all kinds of clarity. You move to a higher state of understanding and existence. And I know this because that's what has happened. And the reason that I am giving so much more now is because I know also where our world would be moving. And if more of us don't love and become our authentic selves, that's the place where we really recognize our connection to source or all that is. If we don't do that, then we keep creating chaos that we are experiencing in our world. But I invite you to listen to the sessions and also understand this is why I'm making changes in my program, but I invite you to see it or join my Ascension Circle. And if this is your first time to this YouTube channel, please subscribe and share it with others. My goal is to bring much more awareness to our world. And for those who really want to live these great lives, I'm working with them in this way as well. I've not finished all of my work. And so even at this age, I will be completing all of this. But you must become your authentic self because the world cannot evolve without you.